Welcome back, everyone, to A Gentleman's Life. Watching the Euros there in the background, but also working editing um, my review of the Orient Mako USA. So I'm going to get that uploaded today. Before I switch it around and do the review of the Mako, I'll show you on the wrist. Got the Seamaster on today. That lovely blue color, and enjoying that. But without further ado, let's switch it over and we will get to the review of the Orient Mako. Alright, so here we are looking at the Orient Bambino, and as you can see, for the review and for wearing a little bit to do the review, I've put it on just one of my extra NATOs. There is the bracelet and end link, so we'll cover that as well. Since it was my brother's watch, I didn't want to wear it on the bracelet while I was testing it out. Looking at the watch, it's pretty well proportioned at 41 millimeters. As you can see, the lugs do curve down a little bit. It's not overly thick, and it has an overall pretty good semi-classic design. As you can see here, we have applied hour markers and then the applied Orient logo. Pardon the light. It is 5 in the morning. I'm just trying to get this done before going to work today, so we'll have to deal with the light here. You can see it is a day date, and it does have a really nicely framed date window, which I particularly am a fan of. I love the framed date windows. You can see the kind of arrow and sword hour and minute hand, and the really lovely red tip to the second hand, which I think is a great little detail. And this is water resistant 200 meters, which is more than enough for, swimming and anything you really need to worry about on a daily basis. One thing I do want to note is with the day-date complication, the day of the week is changed by the pusher up here at the 2 o'clock. So you unscrew that and use the pusher to change the day of the week, and then the date and time is set by the crown. Now, this is an in-house Orient movement. It is not hand winding, so you do need to wind the watch up manually or on a winder. So you put on the winder one day, the next day you'll be able to wear it, or you can, swing it back and forth a little bit and get it manually wound up. But you cannot wind it with the crown. So that is one disappointing thing and one change I would have loved to have seen with the new version of the Mako. The bezel is really nice, aluminum bezel insert. It's a little tight in the beginning to get it rolling, but the action is decent. And I'm going to try to switch hands here. And so the action is decent, as you can see here. However, there is a little bit of play in the bezel. Just a little bit, so it's not too bad for the price. But the bezel action is not really what you would expect from a higher-end watch, but for a $200 or just under $200 watch, the bezel action is just fine. 120 click, as you can hear. But like I said, it does get a little bit tight, and the grip on the outside is not great if you're trying to use it one-handed. So you kind of do need a bit more of a two-handed. It's a bit of a struggle one-handed, as you can see. So two-handed usage is better. Now the dial is really nicely done. You can see that the minute and second tracker on the outside is kind of on a rehout, and that gives it a little bit of depth, and I think helps with the depth between the dial and the bezel. The crystal is sapphire in this USA version of the Mako. However, it is recessed from the bezel a little bit, which is definitely a little different from what we're normally used to. But not at all unpleasing to the eye. Now, the top of the case is brushed, as you can see, and then it has this like soft curve into polished sides. which you can see there. And then of course the crown guards are also polished on the side there. And then you have the crown and the pusher. The pusher is polished top, and then the crown has the Orient logo on it. The bracelet matches the case, and then the top of the bracelet is all brushed, and it's nicely brushed. It's the bracelet actually feels really nice for a watch in this price range. For a $200 watch, the bracelet feels very good. It has the double locking mechanism with the clasp and then the pushers, and you have the Orient logo etched into the clasp there. And then the sides of the bracelet are polished just as the case is, so that matches the case. Now, the arms of the clasp do feel cheap, but for a $200 watch, you don't really expect any more than that anyways, and that's not really disappointing for this price range. Now, what's really nice about the bracelet of this USA version of the Mako is instead of the fold-over end links like the original Mako had, we do have solid end links for this watch. So that is really nice. Now you can see with the case back, I have left the sticker on since this is a birthday gift from my brother. I'll let him do what he wants with it. But you can see the case back is engraved. You've got an engraving in the middle, and then the 200 meter water resistance number there. Up at the top there, you got the Orient symbol and logo, and then the different markings. So water resistant, Orient Watch Company, and down at the bottom the other markings there. So pretty simple case back, nothing out of the ordinary there, and well executed. So that is the watch in a whole. Let me switch over into the macro view, and we can take a closer look. Alright, so here we are, and we'll take a look at the dial first. So we can see here with the printing, you have really nicely printed there, water resist and 200 meters. And going down at the bottom, we have Japan movement, and then some of the other designators there at the bottom in really small print, but still well done. Up at the top here, you can see the applied Orient logo, which looks really nicely done, and then Orient and automatic. So not too much text at all. Now, over at the date window here, you can see the date with the really nice frame, and that's really an excellent touch, I think. And the hour markers, you can see nicely applied hour markers, sticks with little points going around, and then at the top you've got the double stick there. So keep working the way around, you can see, and then at 9 and 6 you have the bigger points again than the regular hour markers. The rehaut as well, you can see, is really nicely done. Just the subtle white printing of the minute track. And the hands, you can see there's that red tip, that second hand with the loom in there, really well done. And then our hour and minute hand, you can see even when they overlap how the hour hand is more of like a broad arrow, while the minute hand is that kind of a little bit narrower broadsword style. So you can still see that both of them are there. The loom, as usual for an Orient or a Seiko, is really fantastic. So there's no worry there. This loom is really good quality. Now going around to the bezel, you can see the loom pip there at the 12 o'clock on aluminum bezel, and then you have the minute track going around with the 10. So well printed there on the bezel. 15, 20, and you can see at 20, instead of stopping at 15, they've stopped their minute track at 20 on the bezel, and then you just have every 5 minutes. You can also see the edging around the teeth, pretty well done there as well. And you can see how at the every 10 minutes on the 5-minute mark, they have a change in the edging, a little bit different. Alright, for the case, if we look at the brushing here on the case, you can see it's pretty nicely brushed with that kind of lateral brushing on the top of the case. Same over here. And then you can see here we have that nice polished section, which of course has my fingerprints on it there. But a nice change from the brushing. Let's see if I can wipe that down a little bit. A little bit better. And we go over to the crown side. Give that a little bit of a wipe down as well. There we are. Polish is what you can see there, and then you can see the screw down bit for the pusher. But it's really easy to unscrew. You can see it has a good grip there for the water seal. You can see the brushed tops of the crown guards, and then the polished sides, and then the Orient logo on the end, really well done on the crown there, and the grip. Now, one thing I will say with the Orient is there is a decent amount of crown wiggle when you get the crown all the way out. So that's a little bit disappointing, although again, not surprising given the price range. All right, and the case back, you can see here it's a polished screw down and then brushed up top with a light engraving, so you can see the Orient Mako water resistant. You have Orient and the symbol, and then under the sticker you can see like the two dolphins in a circle with the waves behind them, I think is what that's supposed to be. The 200 meters, and then stainless steel and the other engravings. The engraving is a little bit light, so it would be nice to see it a little bit deeper, but it's not badly done. It's precise. So after wearing this a little bit before sending it off to my brother for his birthday, what are my final thoughts on the Orient Mako? And I have to say that I really am quite pleased with it. I think it fits really well. I think sizing wise it's good for a wide variety of people. At 41 millimeters you can fit smaller or larger wrists pretty easy that way. I really like that day-date complication, and I think they've done some great job in paying attention to details with the applied hour markers, the little pip on the second hand, the rehaut around the outside with the minute track. There's just lots of little details that are very well done in this watch. And you know, at just under $200, right around the $200 mark, it's really hard to beat this for a good quality dive watch that you really can fit into almost any setting. You can dress this up, dress it down. To me, you could wear this, you know, dressed up. You can wear it to the beach. It's not really going to be out of place anywhere, I don't think. And there's some nice upgrades from the original version of the Mako, the sapphire crystal, the solid in links for the bracelet. So just really well done. And if you are looking for a good quality everyday watch in this price range, then I think this is a really hard watch to beat. And I would have no problem putting it on my wrist, and I have no problem giving it as a gift either, because I think it's really well done. So everyone, that's my review of the Orient Mako USA. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts as well, so feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time.